PR Connections Radio presents
We Have the Power. I'm your host, Brian Gardner, and we have a new president-elect in the form of course, President Trump. So today I'm going to go over his secretary picks because he is really making some fantastic choices, and it's going to mean everything for the American people, all American people. So we're going to get started. I'm not going to have an infomercial on the drug booklets this time. You may want to watch this show again. We're going to rerun it the day after Christmas again. This is important to you because these cabinet picks will be people who head up departments that have everything and a lot to do with you. And that's why I'm so excited, and so many people are, about who Trump is picking. Some really awesome people. So let's get started. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He is a China hawk, extensive foreign relations committee experience, policy experience in that area. He's a top Republican on the Senate Foreign Intelligence Committee. He is going to be really good for America First and making sure that the things that he has experienced before benefit the American people. For Treasury, Trump has picked Scott Bessent. He's respected as one of the world's foremost international investors and geopolitical economic strategist. He is going to be very good. Now, I'm hoping that in the Treasury Department, they start making plans to get rid of the Federal Reserve. That would be absolutely incredible if that were to happen, because that is something that needs to happen. That is a cancer on this country. We must separate ourselves from the Federal Reserve. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, former Fox News host, Army combat veteran, he rails against the warped, woke, and caustic policies of our current military. Amen. Let's get that squared away and get rid of warped, woke, and caustic policies in our military so that our military people are being treated properly and fairly, and we have a strong military to protect us. Attorney General Pam Bondi, I couldn't be more happy about this pick. She is a former Attorney General of Florida, 2 terms, worked at America First Policy Institute, developing, and she promotes conservative policies which are so needed at this time. Moving right along, Interior Department, Doug Burgum, he's a North Dakota governor, heads the newly formed National Energy Council and oversees all forms of American energy. He will be receiving my first report issued by a group I started, Advanced Technology Research, and its main arm and main thrust is to expose the travesty of the hoax that human activity is causing the planet to warm, which is a complete and utter fabrication. You can receive that report emailed free just by contacting me at bgardner2323@yahoo.com. I will send you the report. You can get informed about this issue because my report is based only on facts. Attorney General Brooke Rollins, president of American First Policy Institute, great, supports American farmers and their defense, and American food self-sufficiency is something she's going to be working toward. The Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, he's a billionaire. He will lead the tariff and trade agenda. We need tariffs to make sure that people are not ripping off this country. He will be tough and great in that position. For labor, we have Lori Chavez DeRemer. She's a first-term representative working to build America's workforce, supports working men and women, and wants to bring workers and unions together to benefit all Americans. This is very, very good. For Health and Human Services, I can't believe this is the most awesome pick. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He is going to take on the industrial food complex and the drug companies. They have been engaged in deception. misinformation and disinformation. He is going to fight the epidemic of chronic diseases that the drug and food companies are responsible for creating. A broad swath of ailments, including autism, so-called ADHD, sleep disorders, infertility rates, diabetes, and obesity. He is also urging for the removal of fluoride from our drinking water. If I were you, I would not drink tap water ever again. Now, you take a look at these things. I want to stay on this Health and Human Services Department for a moment. Autism, ADHD, sleep disorders, infertility rates, diabetes. These are all ailments that the deep state wants to produce because they have spoken openly. They're minions. They're minions that I don't know how low their IQ is. I don't even know it's on the chart. And they're completely unethical. Their minions have said they want to lower the population of Earth to around between 800 and 300 million. Do you realize we have 7 billion people on this planet? Do you realize how many people they plan to kill? Luckily, their methods and their goals are off the rails because luckily we got Trump back in the White House. Now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to take them on, and he has the support of Trump, and he's going to expose all their criminality, get them to stop trying to kill massive numbers of people. Couldn't be a better pick for the Health and Human Services Department. Housing and Urban Development, Scott Turner, he's a former NFL player. He was in the first Trump administration, director of the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council. He's going to be great. He is going to get people so that they are standing on their own, not dependent on the government. Transportation Secretary, oh my gosh, Buttigieg was absolutely a waste of time completely. He couldn't make, anything happen. It was embarrassing to have him in there. Sean Duffy's going to head the Transportation Secretary Department. And former congressman joined Fox News, wants to rebuild America's highways and make sure our ports and dams serve our economy without at all compromising our security. He's going to be absolutely fantastic. He will get stuff done. And we need to rebuild our highways and bridges. They're aging. Now, imagine if we got rid of the Federal Reserve, started printing our own money with no interest attached to it, and put bids out to companies, maybe the West Coast areas and the East Coast, or maybe divided into three, West, Middle, and East. And we put out bids and we got companies that said, yes, we can rebuild this. And then we paid them with dollars we print with no interest attached to it. Fire the Federal Reserve and rebuild this country. I hope that, where did he go? Sean Duffy. I hope he starts working on that as a plan along with the Treasury Secretary. Let's get things going here. Imagine all the people that would get put to work. Imagine all the stuff these companies would have to buy, the trucks, the materials to rebuild this country. Our economy would just absolutely go into overdrive. Be fantastic, and it will be fantastic. For energy, he's picking Chris Wright. He is a Liberty Energy CEO, served on the new National Energy Council, oversees the path to U.S. energy dominance. He's a vocal advocate of oil and gas development, and guess what? I'm going to send him my report. There is no climate crisis. Now, I beg to differ. There is a looming climate crisis. It's not that human activity is causing the planet to warm. It's that we will experience another ice age in the next couple of generations. So we do have something to make sure we take advance notice of and prepare for. But there is no climate crisis like the liberals are saying that the planet is warming. That is a lie. He's going to get my report so that he can have the truth right in front of him. For education, Linda McMahon. I think it's McMahon, McMahon. She is a former wrestling executive, led small business administration during Trump's first administration, co-chair of the transition team for Trump into the White House again. Thank you. She wants to expand choice and empower parents in making the best educational choices for their children. Do you realize that right now, if a child says, I want an abortion, I think in some states, or I don't think I'm a boy or a girl anymore, I want to have an operation because I have that right, the school system, the education department does not need to inform the parents. This is a travesty. The parents have the right to weigh in on this. And who's the one that got the student all messed up with thinking they weren't a male or a female anymore? You know, that's another way to lower the populations. You get everybody being a transvestite or not a he or a she, they aren't going to have children. There's another way that they're working to lower the population. We need to stop this absolute false information that is being given to our young people, because once they do those operations, you can't reverse it. And then later, it was like kind of just something they were thinking about. They come out of this false information being force-fed to them by the educational department, wanting to have books. Do you realize that they are trying to get books okayed into the school system for very young ages that talk about oral sex? And when the parents come and say, no, we are not having those books there, do you know they try to get the parents labeled as terrorists? You remove these parents, you know, they have no say anymore. And they want to have books with this disgusting kind of material in it? For third graders? What kind of a world have we come to? Thank gosh we got Trump back in the White House. So she's going to be great. Now, Trump has said he wants to shut down the education department. It needs to be cleaned out like a house that had, you know, sewage leaking into it, in my opinion. He wants to shut it down and replace it with something better. The budget is too small. The staff hate our children. Yeah, that sounds like a good reason to get rid of our current educational system, which is a brainwashing tool to make kids not want to have families, hate America, you know, hate Trump, hate all Republicans. They're the problem. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. What happened to math and English and all of that? You know, they're not teaching. They don't, you see, let's get down to the basics here. They do not want to develop a generation of bright, smart, intelligent young people, because that kind of citizenry will see the criminality going in Washington. They want a bunch of kids on pot and, you know, looking at their phones and hate America. I don't even know why we have the 4th of July and, you know, all of this. So then the criminality continues in Washington. This is what they're doing. That's why the educational department needs to be cleaned out, fumigated, and rebuilt. Thank you, Trump. Thank you, Linda McMahon. Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins. He's a representative in Georgia. He's a military veteran, defended Trump during the fake impeachment trial, and he wants to take care of our brave men and women. So do I. They deserve the best of the best of the best. Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, South Dakota governor, strong on border security. Can I say that again with a smile? Strong on border security. She is going to be tough on anybody who comes in illegally. FBI Director Kasha Patel, brilliant at exposing corruption, defending justice, and protecting the American people. How long has it been since our FBI can be counted on to do that? No, they've been going after political enemies of, by the way, where I am Biden and criminal Harris. That's what they've been doing, and that's the wrong thing. FBI must have drastic measures taken to clean it up, or this is the quote, or it will remain a threat to the American people. When was the FBI supposed to be a threat to American people if you didn't go in and reorganize it? Wow, that sounds like they're off their main objective. He's laying a real roadmap. This is so beautiful. This is what Trump said. This is like, oh my gosh, we're all getting a Christmas present. He is Kash Patel, head of the FBI. He's going to be the head of the FBI, is laying a roadmap to the end of the deep state's reign. I call them the perverted elite. Trump calls them the deep state. Same darn thing. The government behind our real government that's been running our politicians and ruining this country. Let me say this again. He is laying a roadmap to the end of the deep state reign. Yes. Okay, continuing. CIA Director John Ratcliffe. He's a U.S. representative. He did an investigation of Hunter Biden, who just got pardoned by the way, where am I, Biden? Absolutely criminal activity that Hunter Biden was involved in, and his dad said, I will never pardon him, ever. I won't do it. And then someone put pressure on him, said, you will do it. We're in charge of you. You're not in charge of anything. Do it. And he did it. This is how corrupt it is. The president can't do what he wants to. He's got all these deep state, perverted elite people tell him what to do. CIA Director John Ratcliffe, I stand for truth and honesty. Holla frickin' Lula. Boy, is it time we got those kinds of comments made by people in these positions. Here's another one that puts a smile on my face. She is going to, I can't even say it, kick, get it? Just put an A in front of it. National Intelligence Director, Tulsi Gabbard. 20 years she fought for the freedom of Americans. Representative 2013 to 2021, representing Hawaii, her home state. Now she's a Republican. She got so disgusted with the Democratic Party, she left and became an independent, right? And then she talked to Trump, saw what he was going to do, and she goes, okay, I'm a Republican. She opposes the war in Ukraine. A multi-billion-dollar boondoggle that is only benefiting the military-industrial complex. We have sent billions and billions of dollars in arms to Ukraine for this completely fraudulent war that is being driven this fast. So the military and industrial complex can extract the most money. It's just absolutely horrible. If we had those billions of dollars in our treasury where they should be, we could be rebuilding the country and doing all sorts of great things. Now, those bombs are just being kind of thrown around, used up, and no one's advancing either direction. It's a military industrial. Let's see, where can we go to make some money? Let's try Ukraine. Let's piss off, the head of Russia, get him agitated. We can ride that for a while till we find another place to have a war so we can keep our dollars rolling in. Horrible. Tulsi Gabbard opposes the war in Ukraine, in charge of national intelligence. She also stated, forget it. We are not going to be monitoring every communication by American citizens when they haven't been proven that they're guilty of anything. Wow. Border czar, Tom Homan, first Trump administration director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He was in charge of the Department of Illegals, sending them back to their country. He will be in charge of deportation, and it's going to happen. Government efficiency. Musk, I can't say his last name, Ramaswamy, I think. They're going to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash regulations that are unnecessary, cut waste, send a shockwave through government employees who've been wasting our money. Management and budget, Russ Vought. He wrote the Heritage Foundation Project 2025, which is very important for getting sanity back into our country. He's going to bring sweeping overhaul to the executive branch. Time for that. EPA director. Wow. I'm going to be sending him my report. Lee Zeldin, New York Republican congressman, is going to do deregulation that is unnecessary and make sure there are high environmental standards, but not belief in phony claims like human-caused global warming. Remember the movie? The $1 billion, the nuclear weapon, the human-caused global warming. This guy. It was a thing I invented. Yeah, that's right. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, representative for Florida, has a military record. America first, peace through strength. Not peace through we're going to bomb the hell out of you and make money for our military industrial complex and run our debt up. Who do you think pays for all these billion-dollar amounts of bombs? Peace through strength. He was a Green Beret. He's a hawk on China. He's not sure if we should be sending more aid to Ukraine. We shouldn't. It's not going to Ukraine. It's going to the military industrial complex. They give them bombs. They blow up stuff. Nothing gets accomplished. UN Ambassador Elsie Stefanik believes in America first. Yes. Small Business Administration Kelly Loeffler. She's a Georgia senator. Reduce red tape. Unleash opportunity for small businesses. Do you know the one thing the Rockefellers and the deep state and the perverted elite, they don't like small businesses because small businesses represent freedom to individuals. They can go, let me think about this. No, they don't want people thinking. They want them working on the assembly line. No time to think. No time to do anything but watch sports and maybe, go on a vacation every once in a while. They don't want small businesses. Small businesses breed independent thinking, and that is dangerous for criminals. Oh, yeah. She wants to crack down on fraud and believes the 2020 election was faked. Smart girl. Smart girl. And she's going to head up the Small Business Administration. Now, see, Trump is very smart. He knows that small businesses are a key element to this country being in good shape, where the Rockefellers and the perverted elite and the deep state, they want to crush the middle class. They want to have them up here and everybody else, on welfare and on assistance, totally dependent on the government, right? Because then they continue their criminality with no one checking in on them. And they want to get everybody on pot and alcohol and pornography and other drugs and medical drugs and sick from the drugs. That's why Robert Kennedy is going to take them on. Take them on. It's great. Counsel to Trump, a legal representative for Trump. He's going to have a very important person there. Crypto czar David Sachs. I don't know much about crypto, so I didn't take too many notes on that. But this is good for you to know. Surgeon General Dr. Janet Nesheiwat. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. It's Nesheiwat. Nesheiwat, I think. Preventative medicine and public health. Surgeon General, that's the person that tells us, what we should eat, what we shouldn't eat. She is not going to go, rank and file. She's probably going to work with Kennedy and go, hey, let's get this cleaned up. I want preventative medicine and public health. Now, does that sound like that's going to kill a lot of people? No, the Rockefellers and the perverted elite and the deep state won't like that. They won't like that because this is going to make people healthy. When you're healthy, your mind works properly. You go, wait a minute, what happened to that $4 billion that's missing? Now, a person who's sick goes, I don't even know what money is lost. Go ahead, just keep working. That's fine, No, we don't want to have a population like that. We've experienced that. Trump's going to change that. Press secretary, that's a hot seat. Carolyn Levitt. Now, she's going to get all the tough questions because they do a briefing every day, right? Listen to her credentials. This is from Trump. Smart, tough, effective communicator. Hey, dumb goofball, you asked me that question loaded with negatives. No, I'm not answering it because you're just trying to embarrass the president. Next, remember when Trump, did you ever see it when Trump took the mic away from that one CNN reporter who was just there to cause trouble? He said, take that mic away from him. No, we're not going to answer questions to him. His questions are loaded with, how long have you been drinking? Are you still drinking? Those kind of questions. How do you answer it? So this is going to be good. Now, we're going to rerun this next Thursday, the day after Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody, by the way. And please don't drink and drive on New Year's. Don't harm yourself. Don't harm somebody else. Get a designated driver or use Uber or a taxi. Please don't do that. Let's say you don't even kill somebody and you get pulled over for drunk driving. The fines and the disruption in your life and your family's life is horrendous. If you should injure somebody or, my gosh, kill somebody, let me tell you, if I was the governor or the president, and you kill somebody drunk driving, for the rest of your life, you are going to be doing community service every single Saturday for the rest of your life. Now, if you go, oh, that's really harsh, what is a life worth? I've seen people who kill somebody drunk driving. Okay, you're going to go to jail for 3 years. We're going to pay your rent, your food, your dental, your health care. Then you're out. That's all that life is worth in our world? No. And if the word went out to everybody, hey, George, guess what? They just made a new law. If you kill somebody drunk driving, you will be doing community service for the rest of your life, 1 day a week. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You want to be saddled with that? Plus, they're not going to put you in jail for 20 years. You're going to have to find your own rent and pay it, your own place to live and pay the rent. You're going to have to pay your own food, your own health care. Plus, every Saturday, you are going to be doing community service for the rest of your life. Sounds like that's about right to me, because what is a life worth? What if a drunk driver kills a woman who's about to get married to a guy and they have their whole life in front of them? So here's the wife right here, let's say. The drunk driver crashes into her and kills her. She's gone forever. Now, if she broke a leg, she could come back. If he kills her, she's gone forever. So what should that person who did that have to pay to make up something like that? The rest of his life. And we, taxpayers, we're not going to pay for him to sit in the jail while we pay his food and his health care and his rent. No, that's not right. So there's a lot of good things in the people that Trump is picking. Fantastic people who are going to turn things around so that it's benefiting us finally. This will even benefit Democrats or independents, but they can't see it right now. Yeah, well, it's Trump, so I don't like it. Why don't you, like this, watch this. I've got enough time to do this. Sir, I'd like to ask you why you don't like Trump. Oh, I don't know. I don't like the letter T and P. It has astrological, ramifications. Oh, really? Is there any other reason why you don't like Trump? No, I don't know. My uncle told me something. What did your uncle tell you? I don't remember, but I don't like Trump. We've established that. We're just trying to find out why. Do you have any reason why you don't like him? No, I just don't like him. Okay, thank you, sir. This is what we're dealing with. So Trump's in the White House. He's got great people he's picking. Things are going to start turning around. I've noticed some gas prices are already dropping. And in just the last couple of minutes I bet he called the heads of the oil companies and said, hey, guys, lower the prices now, because if you don't, life's going to be very hard for you. I'm not the president yet, but if I were you, I'd start lowering prices. Just a little hint. See, this is how Trump works. We need a businessman in the White House. This country is a business in so many ways. We don't need a politician who is paid to be there. I'm here because the deep state gave me $50 million or $200 million or whatever it costs. Trump got there because we voted him in. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We will rerun this show next Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Watch it. Maybe take notes, but be aware Trump's cabinet is going to be awesome. Thank you for watching.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.